an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media.
Many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping.
Because when you talk, they hear you.
Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
This is Midday. I'm Heather Peterson, filling in for Maria Shilaos. Utah's Hogle Zoo is inviting local artists to join their Wonders of Wildlife mural initiative that'll intersect both art and wildlife. KSL News Radio's McKenna Rodriguez spoke with the zoo's senior vice president, Liz Larson, about how these 6 new murals will transform the zoo.
Art just connects us in such a unique way and helps celebrate the curiosity and wonder of wildlife and the important conservation work that we have here at the zoo. Through our artists' interpretations, I think it's just going to be such a great way to add vibrancy to the zoo, connect our community with wildlife in a way that they haven't been before as part of the zoo experience.
The zoo is inviting local talent to check out their website and apply by submitting their portfolio and a mock-up of a zoo animal. The art should display their own unique style. Applications are open from now until March 31st, with the installation happening in May. Artists could earn anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 based on location and size of the mural.
We would really like to highlight the talent that we see in our community and the diversity of our community represented. So we're encouraging all local artists that are interested to check out our website.
Larson says this is an opportunity for people of all ages who love and are passionate about art and wildlife.
Each mural is going to be featuring a section painted by a local teen, a higher education student. So it's not just the art, but it's also a hands-on learning experience for our community and just a wonderful collaboration.
The 6 new murals will be going on display for the public to enjoy this summer. A bit of drama in the Tooele County Sheriff's Department, including arrests, firings, rumors, and a slew of accusations. In the next hour of Midday, we'll get the full details on the KSL Investigates team. Stay with us.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The BYU Cougars set to take on the Houston Cougars tonight as the Big 12 championship continues. Last night, BYU destroyed the West Virginia Mountaineers.
AJ leading a 3-on-1. He's going to drive it down. Goodness. And get fouled. Wow.
Coach Young feeling good about tonight's game.
I'm personally really looking forward to the matchup. I know our guys are too. And, it'll be fun to do it here in this tournament.
The time is 2 o'clock on Thursday, March 12th. It's Midday. I'm Heather Peterson, in for Maria Shilaos. Coming up, KSL News Radio is your legacy home of the BYU Cougars. We'll go in depth on the championship and how it could affect the NCAA tournament. Also this hour,
she did almost everything right. I mean, this is a very sharp and brave young lady.
A 15-year-old Utahn escaping from a would-be kidnapping by a Lyft driver. We'll get tips to keep you and your family safe when using ride shares. But first, our top stories. 2 people are trying to figure out what comes next after a car plowed into their home in West Valley City this morning.
A small hatchback ended up driving over the front lawn and clean through the exterior wall into the family room of this home near 4100 South just off of Mountain View. Now there's a gaping hole, a huge pile of cement, wood, and insulation, and 2 people now looking for a place to go until it's safe to come back.
It's my forever home, and so it's just heartbreaking and I think overwhelming.
25-year-old Angelica Rodriguez tells me she's lived here her whole life with her dad and with her mom before she passed away.
It seems a little more materialistic, I think, but it's just like a lot of memories and I think tied to my mom, which makes it also much harder.
Though she says she's just glad she, her dad, and her dog were not hurt.
There's a lot going on in our lives right now, but that's okay. We'll be okay. We always are.
The driver of the car was taken to the hospital. Police say they don't suspect any criminal wrongdoing. In West Valley City, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story from ABC News. Police say the suspect that drove into Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, Michigan, has died. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard says there was a school in the building and children were inside, but no one was hurt.
We've accounted for everybody that we believe was in the building at the time. So we're on path to continue to maybe pivot to, is there anybody else involved, and the investigative side of what's happened.
Police say the suspect rammed his car into the building and was met there by security. Your money at this moment, the Dow continues to plummet. It's down 739 points right now. The S&P is down 103 and the NASDAQ is down 404 points. Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at uccu.com. Here's Ricky Meese.
We have a crash in Utah County, southbound I-15 near Center Street, Provo, on the left shoulder. And with road work, we're seeing some backups southbound I-15 in Davis County as you go from the Kaysville Ponds towards Farmington near Burton Lane. When you need the financial products and services for every stage of life, Cypress Credit Union is there for whatever the future holds. Visit cypresscu.com today. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
High of 67 expected today with partly cloudy skies. More of the same tomorrow at 69 degrees. Then this weekend, we're looking at a high of 65 on Saturday before a drop to 50 on Sunday. Right now, it's 66 and mostly cloudy from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Whether you park it, stripe it, or pave it, GoPave Utah has your blacktop covered at GoPaveUtah.com. Call or visit GoPaveUtah.com.
Bad driving habits are hard to break. But good driving habits are easy to form, especially when they can lead to a discount on your auto insurance. With Farm Bureau Financial Services, the safer you drive, the more you save. Drivers like you are saving an average of $321 per vehicle. So buckle up, learn more, and find an agent at fbfs.com/save. Individual savings results may vary. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company.
This Friday from 10 to 1, the movie show comes to Sound Sleep. But first, take time to learn about a better night's rest. Sound Sleep delivers oral appliance therapy that treats sleep apnea without the use of CPAP machines. They're professionally fit, warranted, and covered by most major medical insurance. End the days of a poor night's sleep. With offices from Clearfield to St. George, Sound Sleep will help. Call Sound Sleep at 801-716-8672 today.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yup, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Heather Peterson, in for Maria Shilaos. Another day, another dollar for the BYU Cougars men's basketball team. Another domination last night against the West Virginia Mountaineers, but a real challenge on the horizon for tonight. Round 3 of the Big 12 Championship. Let's go in depth with KSL Sports' Alex Curie. Alex, thanks for joining us in studio today.
Hey, Heather. Yeah, good to be here.
All right, so what were some of the highlights from last night's game?
It's like here's what you have to do. AJ DeBonsa has to have a big night, and even his not very big nights are pretty big nights. 27 points. The bigger deal was West Virginia went cold. BYU made the shots they were supposed to. They won by 20. They lost to this West Virginia team 2.5 weeks ago. And I think that's a massive boost for them. You get the win against Kansas State, and you have 40 points from AJ DeBonsa, and you have other people showing up. You have guys like Kennard Davis who were in game number 1 who showed up. Obviously, Richie Saunders being out is a massive loss for them. They have to have everybody showing up, and they have to have AJ having big nights, and last night was one of those. But more importantly, the best defensive game they've had all season long, and it came at a good time because holding West Virginia to 48 points, that was by far the best result that they've had all year. They've been consistently giving up 80 and 90 points these last few weeks, and so it's good to have a defensive effort from BYU. It was really, really good.
Yeah, and the two teams that the Cougars have played so far, nothing really compared to Houston, which is a powerhouse. So, do we stand a chance?
No, but you know what? It's okay. Listen, I say that in jest. I almost look at it like this. If you lose, you already know you're in the NCAA tournament. And whether or not that's going to be a 6 or a 7 seed or maybe even an 8 seed, I don't know what that's going to end up being because the selection committee can always surprise you one way or the other. BYU tends to get this, they don't play on Sundays. We got to adjust the schedule for them. And so sometimes that bumps them down a seed line. So I think winning these 2 games was really a best case scenario for them. Playing against Houston, a team who was in the national championship game last year, that is a very, very tall task. It's a very good team. And, asking them to beat them to be able to get to even the semifinals and then the finals. I don't think this is a Big 12 championship BYU team. No matter. You want to get to the NCAA tournament, and I think that 1, they're there, and 2, I think they're setting themselves up for a pretty good seeding.
Okay, so what kind of things do you expect from tonight's game besides not great results?
It's not that I think that they're going to get blown out or anything. I just think that this is their third game in 3 nights. Houston hasn't played yet in the tournament. They got 2 first-round byes. They're fresh. They're ready to go. The advantage that BYU has is they are just playing, and they're playing loose, and they're just going. It's all gravy at this point. Nothing is expected for them to be able to have to win this game. I don't think that that's the expectation by the fan base necessarily. You love to see it, and the upsets could happen. You're going to have another big night from AJ DeBonsa. That's your superstar. So you'll probably get a big night in production from him. Who's going to be the other person showing up? Don't know. I will say that if they hang in this game or if they get blown out, and if they win it, I don't know if it's going to have as much of an impact on their NCAA seeding that people might think. They're in. They're going to be in March Madness. They're already there, and everything's kind of going right now. And so this Big 12 tournament, it's going to come to an end. I don't think BYU is going to be in the championship game or win a championship. However, they don't need to. They're going to be in the NCAA tournament.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the insight. That was KSL Sports. Alex Curie, thank you so much. The BYU Cougars take on the Houston Cougars, double the Cougars, at 5 o'clock tonight, our time. Special coverage begins at 4 o'clock right here on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio. Stay with us. We'll be back with more in just 60 seconds.
One Kind Act a Day is a program from the Semnani Family Foundation. One Kind Act a Day seeks to create kinder communities by inspiring daily acts of deliberate kindness. Their work includes programs in schools, businesses, communities, faith groups, and prisons where they help enhance the culture of kindness and increase a sense of community. The world always needs more kindness. No matter what our background or beliefs are, kindness towards others and ourselves is something that everyone can get behind. Kindness can be big or small, but the ripple effect can reach out in ways that we don't even realize. Wouldn't life be better if we were all a little more kind? You can do your part by starting today. All it takes is one kind act a day. Find out more and take the pledge of kindness at thepowerofkind.org. That's thepowerofkind.org.
This morning, we told you about a kidnapping of a 15-year-old by a Lyft driver. This afternoon, we want to have a broader discussion on safety in ride shares. In case you missed the earlier story, here's KSL News Radio's Claire Scott with the details.
Police say the teen was on her way to an appointment in Salt Lake City when 44-year-old Victor Montilla canceled the ride on the Lyft app and began driving in the wrong direction. The girl's mother, who had been watching her location, called her and told her to get out of the car. Police say the teen told Montilla to stop, but when he didn't respond, she opened the door and jumped out of the car while it was still moving. According to charging documents, the girl told police she was scared and was worried he was kidnapping her, so she decided to run. Montilla was questioned by police, who say he admitted to canceling the ride, but was looking for a spot to pull over because he was having a connection issue. Claire Scott, KSL News Radio.
The driver has now been charged with kidnapping. So when it comes to using a rideshare, whether you're an adult or a minor, what are some things you can do to stay safe? I spoke with retired FBI agent and UVU professor of criminal law, Greg Rogers. He says he's super impressed with how the teenager handled herself in that situation and says there's a lot to learn from her experience.
She did almost everything right. I mean, this is a very sharp and brave young lady. And not only did she do a whole lot of things correctly, her mom, calling the Lyft on her phone so she could track it and things like that, that was also really, really, really sharp. So there's a few things she could have done also, but I don't want to denigrate how, brave I think she was. She could have called 911 and told the driver that she was doing that. And that might have been a little bit helpful, and actually done it so he could hear it. And because he would have known that he's, easily going to be found. But the real scary thing about that case is that's a really eerie sort of impulsive crime. I mean, this guy decided within minutes that he was going to kidnap this young girl. I mean, he knew for sure that he could be identified and be caught. So that's scary, because that's someone that's acting very impulsively. There's no planning in that at all, of course. So that's scary. There's no telling what would have happened if she would have just sat in the car.
Yeah, really scary indeed.
Yeah.
So for those of us who might be using a rideshare app, or even a taxi for that matter, what should we be doing to maintain safety?
I think just what she did. It sounds like, a little too much, and I use ride shares, but the reality is, you're having a complete stranger you've never met pick you up and take you somewhere. And so there's a little bit of danger in that. And so, make sure that the car's being tracked. Your phone, it's always a good idea to have someone that has an app on your phone that they can follow you. That's friends or family. And you just say, you could just call them easily and say, hey, look, I'm taking a ride share. You want to turn on that app and follow us because this is where we're going. So you've got somebody else that's following you. And if you get off track and you're not going where they're supposed to go, you tell them to call you. And if you don't answer, that's a problem. I mean, I would say, call me. And if it looks like this car is going where it's not supposed to go, and if I don't answer, call 911. And, there's a few easy things like that you can do. It's sad that, you have to consider that, but it's, you do. Because like with this young girl, that's, I teach my students all the time about pre-op planning and all sorts of things that people do when they consider when they're going to do a kidnapping or when they're going to do a home burglary. And there was no pre-op planning at all here. So that's he had no idea who he was picking up probably. And he just made a rapid, horrible decision. And that's frightening because that ends badly.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think it's significant that this 15-year-old girl was alone, and good thing her mom was looking out for her at least. But
right,
that's
right. Yeah, no, if that was great that her mom was doing that and her mom was calling her. That's they handled that very well.
Greg Rogers is a retired FBI agent and current adjunct professor of criminal law at Utah Valley University. An arrest, a firing, rumors and accusations all swirling at the Tooele County Sheriff's Department. We'll get details on the why coming up after the break. But first, it's traffic on KSL News Radio, brought to you by UCCU, up to $500 for loan transfers. Love where you bank. Ricky?
The crash that we have in Utah County is actually in the final cleanup stages, at least the original one, southbound I-15 near Center Street in Provo. But now we have a secondary crash in that mix. It's trying to be moved out of traffic, so we'll keep an eye on that, but it did cause some backups. The Good Feet store, supporting you with comfort no matter what the day brings. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now, or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Save $10 on a pair of Rain-X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people will even install them for free.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's the tale of Tina, searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
I'll put it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
All in together now, we can make it better, can we do it? We'll open up.
Cause we know how to jump. Moving and eating better every day can help make you and your kids healthier. Search We Can online to find out more. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
You're listening to Midday. I'm Heather Peterson, in for Maria Shilaos today. An arrest, a firing, rumors, and accusations all swirling at the Tooele County Sheriff's Department. It stems from a traffic stop that led to accusations of politically motivated retaliation and ultimately the firing of a detective. KSL investigator Daniela Rivera has been looking into this case since January.
September 2025, a Tooele County Sheriff's deputy pulled over a vehicle for an expired registration. The police report states the deputy discovered marijuana in the vehicle, including a THC vape in the driver's lap. After failed sobriety tests, the deputy arrested the driver on suspicion of DUI, possession, and an expired registration. But the deputy didn't know as he drove to the jail, he's just arrested one of the sheriff's relatives.
Just like every other family, my family members are human.
That's Sheriff Paul Wimmer, and this is Andrew Goss. He says the arresting deputy confided in him.
So he told me that the sheriff interrupted his DUI investigation by asking what he had.
The next day, records show the sheriff posted bail for his relative, and when the case went to court in October, all charges were dropped.
That's suspicious, weird, and a conflict.
The sheriff doesn't see it that way.
There was nothing influenced by me that would compromise the integrity of the sheriff's office.
The case was dismissed by Chief Deputy County Attorney Gary Searle with the note, needs to complete counseling. In January, Searle told us they couldn't prove the DUI because the deputy didn't observe any dangerous driving. And while he said the driver had marijuana in his system and failed sobriety tests, Searle said those are subjective. He said he dismissed the possession charge based on the defendant's age, lack of criminal history, and promise to complete treatment, and that he did not know about the defendant's familial connection to the sheriff when he made that decision. We have found no evidence that the sheriff influenced the dismissal of the DUI case. However, that case is now central to Goss's firing.
I'm dumbfounded that all this happened to me in the first place.
In late January, Goss, who was a detective in the Tooele County Sheriff's Office, says he found himself the target of an internal affairs investigation and questioned in what's known as a Garrity interview about whether he spread rumors about the dismissed DUI case.
I said, I haven't done anything wrong here. It was brought to my attention. And as the interview went on, they kept asking me the same questions, and I'd answer the same.
In January, Goss was placed on paid leave, but then spent weeks assigned to watch security cameras in the basement of the courthouse, instead of spending his time working on the roughly 30 cases he was assigned to. On February 23rd, he received a termination notice signed by the sheriff. The department determined Goss lied during his Garrity interview, a finding that puts his certification as a peace officer on the line after a 16-year career.
I'm terminated, my livelihood, my 4 kids, my wife, my house, bills, just because you're trying to cover up yourself, that you're going to destroy somebody else? Sickening.
The investigation was conducted as per policy, state law, everything we have to adhere to.
Both men accused the other of being politically motivated. Goss openly supports Ryan Carver, Wimmer's opponent in this year's election.
This was an effort to run a political campaign against me by Mr. Goss.
Sheriff Wimmer says he's limited in what he can say about the situation because Goss is appealing his termination.
This case was dismissed back in October. Where was this upstanding effort to root out misconduct by Mr. Goss back then?
2 men, 2 different stories in a profession where your word is everything, awaiting the outcome of Goss's appeal.
I want my job back.
So we have KSL investigator Daniela Rivera here in studio live with us to break down this case a little further. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So it sounds like some of the people thought the sheriff's relative was getting special treatment. I mean, have you talked to anyone about how this situation normally would have been handled, both by the deputy at the traffic stop and the county attorney's office, how it differs from how the situation was actually handled?
Certainly. So there is a lot of nuance here because every case is unique. And so as we've talked to the prosecutor who made the decision to dismiss the case, he pointed out my perspective is that this should be dropped. The alternative would have been something that's known as a plea in abeyance, which for that prosecutor estimates it would have been about 6 months. And how that works is it's a period of time that the court gives a defendant that, they plead. And then during that period of time, there's certain things they need to do, not commit any more crimes, not get into trouble. In this case, it probably would have been stay in treatment. And then at the end of that time frame, the charge that they had pleaded to, if they followed through with their end, would be removed from their record. And so that is how this traditionally would be handled. But the prosecutor involved has raised some other questions. He's now questioning the legality of the stop, whether this would go anywhere if refiled. So there's still a lot more to dig on here. But typically something like this, we would probably see a plea in abeyance, simply because this defendant does not have a significant criminal history. This isn't something where we would expect to see significant jail time without that DUI on the table.
Okay. Can you go over those details of what problems they had with the traffic stop?
Certainly. So, with the DUI, they found marijuana in the vehicle. The prosecutor says the driver had marijuana in his system and then failed field sobriety tests. The prosecutor said it was his opinion that they couldn't go for the DUI charge because the original stop was for an expired registration. So there was not the deputy didn't observe impaired driving. The prosecutor said he didn't feel they could prove that beyond a reasonable doubt, even with the marijuana being present. And in the toxicology results and the failed field sobriety test, the prosecutor actually said those are subjective in nature. And so when you take that DUI off the table, that's a decision that was made by the prosecutor, you're just looking at a possession charge and then an expired registration charge. And when we first asked about this, we were told, why they didn't do the plea in abeyance. The prosecutor said he had assurance from the driver and the driver's mother that he would stay in treatment. But when we asked about this again yesterday, how they're actually ensuring that he stays in treatment and completes that, that's when we heard from the prosecutor, well, there's now this legal issue. Was the stop even legal? Was there basis for this? He's questioning now whether the registration was actually expired, and that's something we're still digging into.
And then I wanted a little clarity on the detective who lost his job. What were the grounds cited for his termination? I mean, does he have legal recourse when it kind of was just all about him spreading rumors, allegedly?
So the main policy code violations listed in that termination notice is lying under garrity, which is kind of like lying under oath, but in the law enforcement community, garrity is a compelled interview. You have to be truthful. You can't, if you don't do the interview, you could lose your certification. So for those reasons, garrity is incredibly important for a law enforcer, and the accusation of lying under garrity is huge. It's career ending. And so that's really the main policy violations. There were others. The termination notice accuses him of politically campaigning on the clock, things like that. He is in an appeal process, and he has quite a few options there. There's this initial appeal that he's in now. It could eventually even get appealed to a district court judge. But this finding of lying under garrity triggers this whole other process with his certification with the Peace Officer Standards Training Council. And now they're opening an inquiry into his certification as a peace officer. That's how serious this is. He could lose the ability to work as a law enforcer because of this finding that he was not truthful.
Very tricky. All right. Thank you so much for covering this. That was KSL investigator Daniela Rivera. It's 2:30, midday at KSL News Radio. Hello, I'm Heather Peterson. Maria Shilaos is off today. Some of the stories we're watching this hour, a major development could take place in a high-profile death penalty case in Utah tomorrow, and it's one of the fans of the Cold podcast will recognize. Another step forward in the plans to rezone areas in and around Smith's Ballpark, the former home of the Salt Lake Bees, and KSL traffic.
A small accident southbound I-15 going from Draper to Bluffdale. Heather?
67 and mostly cloudy in Salt Lake City. KSL's top local stories in just 1 minute. It's 2:30.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. In Michigan, a gunman is dead, police say, after driving his vehicle into the Temple Israel in West Bloomfield outside Detroit. He was met by security guards on site. One guard was injured, but police say no one else was harmed, and the gunman was killed. In Virginia, a man suspected of carrying out the shooting at Old Dominion University today has been identified. Norfolk police say one victim died, 2 others were injured, and the gunman is also dead. ABC's Christian Cordero has more.
Mohammed Jallo, he's a former Army National Guard member, was previously convicted in 2016 for attempting to provide material to support ISIS. He was sentenced to 11 years in prison in 2017, served about 7 of those years until December 2024 when he was released. Unclear right now why he was released early, though that's not necessarily unusual.
The incidents come as law enforcement across the country are on heightened alert due to the ongoing war in Iran. This is ABC News.
KSL's top local story. Utah Attorney General Derek Brown says the state will be cracking down hard on financial crimes. KSL News Radio's Cameron Elliott has the story.
The Utah legislature has approved funding for the Financial Crimes Intelligence Center. The center, according to AG Derek Brown, would allow for increased communication between agencies to tackle financial crimes quickly and effectively.
Ultimately, that's the goal, is to have a one-stop shop where we can really go after these folks and, we won't suffer from a lack of communication anymore.
AG Brown says the center will be a place where legislative figures and law enforcement can have open lines of communication to break down these rapidly evolving scam techniques. Cameron Elliott, KSL News Radio.
Other local stories KSL is following. Rumors are spreading in Weber County that the transfer station that's operated for 30 years will be closing.
Weber County Community Development Department Director Sean Wilkinson says despite posts on local Facebook pages, he wants to assure people they're going to do all that they can to stay open.
We'd love to keep that going. It's just we've got to make sure it works financially. The county can't lose money on this because it's an enterprise fund. So we operate off of the money that we generate. There are no taxes involved.
Wilkinson says they've been transparent that they've been struggling with revenue after a competing transfer station opened a year ago. So the plan is to make big changes and scale back their operation. They won't be able to have as many trucks in operation or as many employees. Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio.
Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 739 points. The S&P is down 103 and the NASDAQ is down 404 points. Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at UCCU.com. Here's Ricky Meese.
We do have a new accident going from Draper to Bluffdale. Southbound I-15 approaching 146 South. Those vehicles moved out of traffic to the shoulder. Still some slower speeds southbound I-15 near the work zone as you pass the Kaysville Ponds on the way to Farmington. Step aboard history, walk through recreations, see real artifacts, and feel the legacy of Titanic. The exhibition open now at the Shops at Southtown in Sandy. Tickets at thetitanicexhibition.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
No rain expected the next couple days. Today we're looking at a high of 67. Tomorrow 69 with some clouds. Then a mild Saturday expected at 65 degrees before a cool down to 50 on Sunday. Right now it's 67 and mostly cloudy from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Only one type of burger. For every pallet. Fries are extra. Large in size. We've got the shakes. Going over the brim.
Hey, this is Chris from JCW's. Put a positive, delicious spin on your day at any one of our 5 locations. In Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, or Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Grand Staircase Escalante is under attack. Utah politicians are hastily racing to dismantle protections for this special place, one of America's most treasured national monuments and an important part of southern Utah's economy. An overwhelming majority of Utahns support protecting the Grand Staircase for future generations. Yet our voices are being ignored by those meant to represent us. Now's the moment to speak up. Learn more about this attack and what could permanently be lost at suwa.org. Paid for by Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance.
Amanda, I've got a cruise planned in a couple of months, and I was thinking about the other people who may have cruises planned coming up a few months from now, and why right now would be the best time for them to begin their weight loss journey on Soda Weight Loss.
If you started right now, you could lose 20, 30, 40 pounds before June.
That's right.
I lost 37 pounds in 3 months, 3.5 years ago. And the beauty about soda is it's not a quick fix. This is learning that is going to last you the rest of your life and help you be healthy.
Your clothes fit better, your energy comes back, you don't get winded going upstairs.
Yeah.
Things that maybe you don't even realize. When I let go of 70 pounds in 5 months, it felt like a transformation.
You learn what works for your body so you don't get addicted to shots or drugs. You just work with a nutritionist who's going to teach you how to keep the weight off for a lifetime.
Right now, you should go check out sodaweightloss.com, see all the thousands of before and after pictures, or speak with a nutritionist by giving a call 866-800-SODA.
Soda Weight Loss. Join us for a short time to have results that last a lifetime.
You're listening to Midday. I'm Heather Peterson. Maria Shilaos will be back next week. A mayor development could take place in a high-profile death penalty case in Utah tomorrow, but the odds are good we won't know exactly what's happening. And it's a story that may sound familiar to KSL listeners and fans of the Cold Podcast. It's a lot to unpack, though, so here's Cold Podcast host Dave Cawley with the background on the murder, kidnapping, and the rape of Joyce Yost.
This all started back in April of 1985. Douglas Lovell followed a woman named Joyce Yost home from a restaurant in Clearfield. He attacked her outside her apartment in South Ogden, took her captive, took her to his house, and sexually assaulted her. Over the course of several hours, Yost was able to convince Lovell to release her. She then reported to police that she had been raped. The Clearfield Police Department identified Lovell and the car that he was in. They located and arrested him. So that all took place just within a matter of hours in April of 1985. The case was headed toward trial that August when Joyce Yost disappeared. And at the time, there was a lot of suspicion that Lovell was likely responsible, but nobody could find Joyce Yost's body. So there were no criminal charges filed against him at that time.
Lovell was convicted of the rape in 1986, but it would take another 7 years to make progress on the murder charges.
They got a big break when Lovell's ex-wife, Rhonda Butters, confessed to them that she had helped him murder Joyce Yost to prevent her from testifying at the rape trial. So Rhonda Butters turned state's witness. She received immunity, and she twice went into the Utah State Prison to record Lovell making incriminating statements.
That led to a plea deal in which Lovell agreed to lead police to Yost's body in exchange for taking the death penalty off the table. Except Yost wasn't where Lovell said she was, and it didn't turn up after weeks of intense searching, which is why Lovell was sentenced to death.
So from 1993 to now, it's been a case of appeals. Lovell appealed his death sentence originally. It took almost 20 years for the Utah Supreme Court to overturn his first death sentence. He stood trial in 2015, didn't even argue his guilt or innocence, just conceded that the crime had been done. But his whole goal was to convince a jury that he was deserving of a sentence of life with a chance for parole. The jury in 2015 sentenced Lovell to die again. And then in 2024, the Utah Supreme Court for a second time overturned Lovell's sentence, which brings us to where we are now.
The new sentencing hearing is scheduled for later this summer, but KSL is appealing the judge's decision to close tomorrow's hearing from the public. Dave broke it down with KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce.
We in the news media are there not because we just have our own curiosity, but it's because we are proxy for the public. We are the eyes and ears of the public to be in these open court hearings to let people know what's going on. And when you have a judge shut down a public access to a court hearing like this, it deprives the public of their right to know. So, we at KSL or other media organizations will routinely push back when judges seek to close these kinds of hearings because it is a fundamental right of the public to know what goes on in these court hearings.
What about the victims? Would they be shut out of the case too? I mean, the surviving family members.
Yeah, exactly. So just because you are a relative of a victim, so in this case, Joyce Yost has a son and daughter, other relatives who want to know what's going on. They want to be in those court hearings. I've seen them time and time again show up, but they are, for all intents and purposes here, just members of the public. They would be blocked out just the same way the news media would.
Dave tells us he believes tomorrow's hearing has something to do with Doug Lovell's defense team. A decision to replace them could set the sentencing hearing back a year or more and mean that a death penalty case that began 40 years ago could still be years away from resolution. You can hear the whole background on Joyce Yost by listening to the second season of the Cold Podcast, available anywhere you listen to podcasts and on the KSL News Radio app and website. Despite 2 hours of debate and public feedback largely against a proposal, the Salt Lake City Planning Commission voted to recommend a major zoning change in the city's ballpark neighborhood. Rezoning would pave the way for large-scale developments in and around Smith's Ballpark, the former home of the Salt Lake Bees baseball team. The discussion among the Planning Commission heated and tense at times. KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff has more.
Heather, there were really two themes about this debate: green space and high-density housing. The public and most of the commissioners used their time to call for more green space, calling this a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Fraser Nelson is with the Ballpark Action Team.
For many, many years, you've been hearing from residents about what they want in this neighborhood because of the opportunities that you've given citizens to speak up. And what they've consistently wanted is green space. They don't want a hotel. They think it's insane to think that a hotel would come to our neighborhood. The last hotel in our neighborhood is now Palmer Court. They want a library, they want grocery stores, they want trees, they want opportunities for their children. We, the Ballpark Action Team, held a session with landowners in the neighborhood called Building Beyond Ballpark. And those landowners, just as Dr. Hawkins mentioned, are saying that they are coming at us with even more density and more apartments, and what they need is green space to support those residents. I urge you to think very carefully about this plan. You have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to say to a neighborhood, we heard you. We know what you need. You know what you need. It is not more dense apartments that drown out the single-family homes on Lucy and Paxton and throughout the neighborhood.
Hayden Calloway represents the city's Community Reinvestment Agency.
On the topic of green space, this is something that came up a lot as we developed this plan, and as we brought it before the CRA board all through last year. And I think we have, we've kind of spoken about how we are creating green space that is publicly accessible. Like, it's not currently accessible in its form. So we have what we are considering green space is the Creek Park, which will have the creek daylit, which should create a cooling effect for the neighborhood as well. The Park Promenade, it will contain, hardscapes for walking, but it will also contain a lush tree canopy, so it is shaded. Currently, the majority of the ballpark, it is, it's turf. And so this will we actually be able to add more trees with this plan to be able to create more shading and decrease that heat effect.
The other big issue was high-density housing. That includes a hotel and a couple of housing projects. Holly McKenna Holly is also with the Community Reinvestment Agency.
The plan had suggested some higher heights, which we reduced, and also I think I want to say that we still hear the public comment that was given today, but I want to put that on top of the mass amount of public engagement we have done over the past 2+ years, more with the Ballpark Station Area Plan. And I will just say that originally I was hearing this narrative of no housing, but once we kind of got into it, I did hear from a lot of the community that we just don't want it on the ground level. We're fine with housing above, and there does need to be some housing available, at ownership levels. We've heard a lot about ownership, which we have as a priority, and accessible housing for people that are interested in moving to this neighborhood and can't afford it currently.
Missy Grace says the community does not need that housing or a hotel.
I know this neighborhood. This neighborhood needs green space. This neighborhood needs activation that is community driven. This neighborhood does not necessarily need more housing. This neighborhood does not need high density housing. This neighborhood needs family friendly activities, and it needs trees.
In the end, the commissioners were told their role was simply to decide whether or not to recommend the zoning change, which would allow buildings up to 150 feet high and that high-density housing.
KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff reporting. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
You know how they always used to ask you in grade school, what do you want to be when you grow up? I bet I'm the only kid who ever stood proud and said, I want to be a rain gutter or siding installer. Jim Jr. here with RGS Exteriors, and man, I can still remember all those wannabe astronauts and quarterbacks looking at me like I was an idiot. Who would want to install rain gutters or siding? Somebody who is a fourth generation in business. That's who. My great-grandfather, T.R. Brown, started the company in the 50s. Then my grandfather took over from him, then my dad, Tim Sr., and now I've been at the helm since 2005. Every day I wake up and think, man, I'm living the dream. And now my own kids are starting to work in the business too. 5 generations. If you want gutters, siding, windows, or any exteriors on your home, and a company that really cares deep down to our souls, give RGS a call. 801-280-3110 or find us online, rgsutah.com. That's rgsutah.com. 801-280-3110, rgsutah.com.
The investigation into Jeffrey Epstein continues, with investigators now looking into a ranch formerly owned by Epstein in New Mexico. This new development coming after the Federal Department of Justice released millions of investigation files, including emails, photos, and more. Now, the New Mexico Department of Justice says they're going to investigate Epstein's ranch for the first time. ABC's Peter Haralambou sets the scene.
This is a sprawling property formerly owned by Jeffrey Epstein in New Mexico. We're talking about 8,000 acres, a mansion on the site that's about 30,000 square foot, and it was owned by Epstein for years. Now, we've spoken a lot about the other properties owned by Jeffrey Epstein, his New York townhouse, his home in Palm Beach, his private island, Little St. James. But the actual property here in New Mexico often goes ignored. The ranch itself appears in the files multiple times, and we've been aware for years at this point of multiple allegations from victims who say that they were abused at the property. And, despite those years-long investigations into Jeffrey Epstein, it doesn't appear the Department of Justice actually ever ended up searching that property.
Haralambou says that New Mexico state officials kicked off a search of the land on Monday.
New Mexico authorities claim that they were running an investigation into this, but the state investigation was put on pause at the request of the Department of Justice. So by the time Epstein actually died, no one actually came around to search this property, and in a somewhat remarkable oversight, to this day it has gone unsearched. Another thing that's driving concern from state officials is also an anonymous tip that was included in the Epstein files. This is uncorroborated and anonymous, but one of these emails in the files suggests that someone emailed a local radio host with an allegation that bodies were buried on the property of 2 young victims. There are no reports of missing people in the area that state authorities are aware of, but that allegation, even though it's unsubstantiated, has also prompted a lot of concern from lawmakers and was directly cited by at least one state official who said that she would want an investigation into this. I think the combination of the lack of a search, as well as this concern from some documents in the Epstein files, prompted folks in New Mexico to take another look at this massive property.
Haralambou says that after so much time has elapsed, they might not be able to find anything, especially because the property has changed hands already. But state officials say it's still important to conduct the full investigation and to release a full report about the property. He also says the current owner of the property has been supportive and welcoming of the investigation, and once it's over, he has plans to turn the property into a Christian retreat. After the break, we're talking dog names. The top names for your pooch this year are out now. Text me what you think the top name is at 57500, and we'll see if you're right. But first, it's KSL Traffic on KSL News Radio, brought to you by UCCU. Direct deposit gets you $300. Love where you bank. Ricky?
We've had this accident on I-15, not far from 146 South. It's out of traffic on the shoulder. But on the north and southbound side, you're going to see traffic heavy and slow in those right lanes at 146 South up to Bangerter, so anticipate some delays. When you need the financial products and services for every stage of life, Cyprus Credit Union is there for whatever the future holds. Visit cypruscu.com today. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing, a chipmunk nibbling on an acorn. Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax, because you bundled your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Looking for something fun to do in Utah? Head to ksl.com/win and enter our weekly contest for your chance to score some amazing prizes. This week, you could win tickets to see Jenny Oaks Baker live. Experience Ballet West's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Enjoy a night with the Utah Symphony. Or step into history at Titanic, the exhibition. It's quick, it's free, and you could be our next big winner. Don't miss out. Enter now at ksl.com/win.
Business technology has changed a lot over the last 70 years. But one thing hasn't.
Les Olson is here.
As the years have passed, there's been one constant. And after 70 years and still counting, Les Olson IT is here with the technology and the people to make life easier, more productive, and more secure for your business. Let Les be here for you.
An emergency can happen any second. Here's a few seconds to think about where you'd go. When you need medical care fast, the closest emergency room is a smart thing to know. Common Spirit Health ERs are your direct path between feeling scared or uncomfortable and feeling better. Find emergency care in your neighborhood at mountain.commonspirit.org.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. I've recently seen 2 just delightful plays at Hale Center Theater. One is called Peter Pan Goes Wrong. When a local drama company stages Peter Pan, the stalwart thespians and crew face about any disaster or mishap that you can imagine, and their distress and their consternation fuels our delight and laughter. This is so much fun, and I challenge you not to laugh. And plus, my favorite radio station even gets a nod in this ill-fated production. And then, on the brand new Beehive stage, 2 local playwrights, Fox and Dietline, have a brand new musical, Hallmarked. It includes tidbits of every Hallmark movie plot you have ever seen. A young woman heads to Vermont to save a floundering reality cooking show, but she's determined not to be Hallmarked. You're going to love the play. You're going to love the music. Get your tickets at hct.org. Don't forget, Hunchback of Notre Dame coming up on March 9th.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now. now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This is Midday. I'm Heather Peterson. Maria Shilaos is off today. Artificial intelligence is making it harder for us to trust our own eyes, especially with the rise in deepfakes. KSL investigator Matt Gephardt discovered that Olympic athletes aren't exempt. They're now the target of AI deepfakes.
Coming off of the Winter Games, liars are targeting Olympic athletes, and they are also targeting you by pretending to be Olympic athletes. All right, pop quiz. What do you think? Is this video real or fake? Michaela Schifrin stopping mid-interview to blow up a coat.
Okay, now we're good.
Actually, this one is real. Schifrin being her quirky self moments after she won gold at the Olympics. I know it's real because I shot it myself, but be honest, you weren't so sure, were you? AI deepfake videos have become a blight on social media and the internet. Just about every celebrity you can imagine has been targeted, and now that includes members of Team USA, says Chris Simpson.
And in the case of like Olympians, there's so much video footage of them out there that it's easy for a bad actor to make a video of that person.
Simpson is the director of National University's Center of Cybersecurity. Deepfakes hurt the person being imitated, he says, because if people cannot trust what they're saying is bona fide, then real words lose power and they lose marketability. And depending on what the deepfake is saying, it can hurt you too. Right, Lisa Swearingen?
And what is the ingredient? Turmeric.
As I previously reported, Lisa bought several bottles of pills that were advertised online as a way to lose weight after seeing them endorsed by the one and only Oprah Winfrey. It was not Oprah.
Somebody's out there misusing my name.
Experts say that in a very short amount of time, these deepfakes have become a lot harder to spot.
As a consumer, how do I protect myself besides being skeptical and assuming everything's fraud?
Yeah, that's probably the best way.
All right, the good news now is that something is finally being done to not so much shut down the fakes, but at least help us investigate on our own and determine if a video is real or not. There's a group called the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity, and they are working on a system that basically adds a digital label to photos and videos so people can check where they came from and see if AI was used.
That's KSL investigator Matt Gephardt. He joined Inside Sources this morning to explain a bit more of what he found in his investigation. You can find that full conversation at kslpodcast.com under the Inside Sources show page. Finally, on Midday, the top names for Fido are out now, and 2026 sees some interesting changes. If you haven't already, text me what you think the top dog name is at 57500. So before we get to the top name, let's start further down the list. This comes from Camp Bow Wow. In 10th place, Willow. 9th place, Penny. 8th is Bella. 7th place is Teddy. And 6th place goes to Cooper. 5th goes to Milo, and 4th place goes to Charlie. What do you think the top name might be, Jeff? Jeff Kaplan's in studio with us.
It's not Rex. I'm thinking old school.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the top 3 dog names in 2026, coming in at 3rd place is Lucy. 2nd place is Daisy. Guess that one makes sense. And the top dog, well, that goes to Luna. That's nationally. And then here in Utah, the top dog name is Ruby.
They're all human names.
They are, and I actually have a nephew named Cooper. And when they named him Cooper, I thought, that's a dog name.
No, I have a grandson named Cooper, and
Really?
I did not think that. But seriously, they're human names. Where did Spot, Rex, where are dog names?
Yeah, that's true. What's your dog's name?
My dog, I have Roscoe Bean.
Oh, the Roscoe sounds like a dog.
Okay, no, Roscoe, because Edward R. Murrow, his middle name was actually Roscoe.
Okay.
But we call him Bean.
Okay.
And the other one is Lola.
Okay. I mean, those could go either way.
Couple of doodles.
Mine's Leo, but I have not gotten to name a dog. We've always rescued our dogs, and so I got the name they came with.
Good for you. No, good for you. Seriously.
I always wanted to name a dog Max, though. I don't know. It just sounds like a classic dog name.
Another human name, if you ask me.
I guess so. A couple of the textures, we got one that said Bandit. Another said Emma. That's a very human name for sure. And we got a Molly as well. But sorry, none of your guesses made the list, guys. But yeah, a lot of human names on the list. But Luna, top dog there.
Bandit. I like it.
I like it,
I
too.
like it.
All right, have a great show, Jeff. This is Heather Peterson handing off the baton, and you've been listening to Midday.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon, 3 o'clock at KSL News Radio.